Tempest double, you've got the illusions to be able to make plays around as well. And, you know, if you've got Maelstrom, then that's still going to be dishing out a decent amount of damage, even if your attack speed isn't that great. You know, you could still look to give him the Empower. You could still look to, you know, buff him up with a Solar Crest, for example. I'm not sure if there's any great Aghanim Scepter targets in this game. Maybe the Void Spirit, but...
I was going to say Mag. Like Universal and plus Stealing and Power.
It's okay. I mean, I guess you can give it to the Monkey.
I don't know how that interaction works. Not interaction. I don't know how strong it is as a response. Because like you said, we know that like Morphling Scepter is very good versus Agi heroes, but I just haven't seen it enough versus Universal. I haven't seen enough games on the item build where where it fits into the build. So I'm just kind of presuming that, you know, maybe being able to get rid of the mag stats could be quite nice, and power is always good for them all. So I don't know.
The only one I can really recall being targeted by an Aghanim Scepter was the Darkseer, and that was a Universal hero, that is. And that's just because it was a great steal in that particular game against, I want to say it was the Terrorblade in that specific one. So,
yep. Look at this setup. Okay. They're going to be on the mark. Beautiful read, Oracle. He's going to think everything's fine. Early. Running measly up. Oh, well, they do now. And TZ's not going to be there for the battery assault. So I love the attempt, but just the execution was just a little bit shy.
There's no real reason to show, right? Like, if he's going to walk there, he's going to walk past you, and you just let him go a little bit too close to that tower. So first blood attempt not going to be successful. Also, did they burn a blood grenade as well, or was that just a flame break? It'd be just the flame break.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. Well, I think another big question for me is how this mid lane goes. Like, it's
sorry, just on that one thing, does Rubik's projectile look different? Is this like a unique set? I've never seen this set before, for starters. And also, just look when he right clicks.
Yeah, this is different. I haven't seen this before either.
Just look at his
Fate Bolt looks different.
Yeah, that too. But like, his right clicks look kind of like Lena's.
As in the red?
Just the projectile. Like, it's a flame as opposed to, you know.
Is this... I know they released some new ones with the...
Summer sale? No, I don't think so.
Dota points. Okay.
Might be China specific.
Where'd you get it, my friend? I want to know. Looks very cool. Okay, so it's just the Fade Bolt that looks different. The Telekinesis doesn't.
Here's the showcase view. I need to know what it's called.
I don't...
Anyone in chat, if you know what this Rubik set is called, please type it in. Because I would like to look it up. I mean, eventually. I'll look back in the VOD.
Yes, very good save.
Bot lane.
Oh, at least I get the kill. We're not going to talk about God King being on a Smurf as well. We'll let that one pass.
All right.
Actually, wrong team. Sorry. Sorry, we're not going to talk about the carry on limit being on a different account for Rain Pause.
It's all good. It's all good. Not sure it was that good diving underneath a tower, though, 2 minutes in on the techies. Like, just giving away first blood. How's the mid lane going?
No.
Cicada, he should have a very fine time in this lane. You can see he's just gone the build to be able to bully out another melee hero with low armor. Right now, Chosen One just looking to try and not give away that Jingu, and, well, looks like he will at least be successful for that. And there's a decent wave coming his way.
Oh, nice jump in. It's not enough, though. So the Fortune's End able to hold back CSJ.
Not under the tower, at least this time, for the techies, so going to just end up falling down. Has to be very careful, right, with his positioning. He's been pretty quick with the use of that Fortune's End, so you just want to root him underneath the tower, and then there's no escape potential for that techies. No, the reactive taser, of course, with that basic dispel, only effective if they do attack you after the fact. Yeah, Cicada should just continue to have a really great time in this this mid lane. Wraithband, Orb Venom, the ultimate harass build.
That it is. Has got the Orb of Corrosion queued up as well. So we'll see if he's going to continue to go down that route already boots getting delivered to him as well. So yeah, this lane's going to continue to get out of control for Chosen One. I feel like you now need to put a lot of emphasis from the supports to try and get the Void out of the lane. So securing water runes, even starting to secure some power runes as well, because he's going to continue to be zoned out.
Well, no one's doing it just yet. Feeling like the techie still needs to put a little bit of this aggression onto the Oracle, and you have to say, like, with the Arc Warden getting a decent amount of last hits in this lane, you're not really getting punished for an Oracle, which is a weak-ish lane. You know, now that he's level 3 as well, they might be able to go for some aggressive moves of their own. But of course, any opportunity, they're happy to just look to last hit underneath the tower as well. You know they've got the responses if they go for the dives too, especially with the Bat Rider, right? If he positions himself a little bit too deep, he just gets fluxed right like that.
They're even going to TP the Rubik down bottom. So there's got a pretty big creep wave to be able to take the tower. Now the aggro's going to change. Whoa, that blast off, and look at TZ. Right through the rift. They've got the stun to the Arc Water. They're going to get all three. No way. What a blast off. Tech is on point with the spell casting. TZ, beautiful read as well for him to come down bottom to provide that assistance. And they tried to drag the wave around. Looks like still regardless, the dire creep wave being under the tower means the Arc Warden's going to continue to miss a lot of CS.
More importantly, it's the 2 range CS as well that he doesn't get. So it's a lot of those valuable experience points that are going to be missing for him. He's just picked up his level 4, but not quite enough. I was really expecting them to be able to get that kill onto CSJ, but like you said, the blast off perfectly on point. And that was a time where they still had creeps underneath the tower. So it's not like CSJ with that Fortune's End was going to be focused by it. It's not like even the techies was either. So it's just about timing those dive attempts. As long as you're not right-clicking them underneath the tower, the aggro is not going to switch over to you. Your Flame Break back onto the Oracle. Seems like they'll be able to force him to back up.
And they have awarded the Rift as well, so this time they are well aware that TZ is nearby.
Invisibility.
We'll see the Rubik trying to scout him out though, but does leave top lane completely solo. So God King's more than okay with playing 1v1 versus Killer. Or really the bottom lane, that's where the action's going to continue, and Chosen One's even coming down as well with the Invis. So with the Void Spirit looking to put his stamp on this lane, and he's going to be able to catch the Techies off by himself. A 1-for-1 to start. Techies, not really going to matter with him getting a little bit of extra damage out before he dies. So, yeah, I guess Dire a little bit happier? Are they? I mean, Void Spirit gets the kill. He's going to be able to TP back mid, but still, this is a lane where he cannot play versus Cicada.
Yeah, so I think he's just doing everything that he can, really, to make the most out of the bad situation. So if that means making a rotation, if that means stopping the Arc Warden from getting a lot of his farm, I mean, even with that horrible lane, he's still 400-500 net worth ahead of this Arc. Looking to maybe make a bit of a play around this mid lane now that he's picked up his level 6 as well, but probably won't be able to at least until he's finished that quarterstaff.
Bottom lane. Another deep dive, CSJ. I mean, with the Oracle nearby, should be able to get rid of some of the sticky stacks. Actually doesn't. It's going to be a miss. So as a result, they'll lose the Arc Water. And now that, what's going to stop them from going for the Oracle as well? CXK was trying to make a play mid lane, too slow to connect to bottom. And now with him showing up, they see another freebie. So we had some big concerns on how this bottom lane was going to go for limit. And well, it looks like the boys on Big Brain are penalizing that with ease.
I mean, we talk about the strength of the off-lane Batrider as well, relative to the mid lane. Obviously, nowhere near as passive a style. They're going to be able to just kill this Arc Warden again. You've got the Vanguard to be able to play with, and this is what we were talking about in terms of that aggressive potential, right? You can go for these dives. Never mind.
But does he die, though? Water duration left from the Firefly. Cicada's here as well. So, yeah, Chosen One is going to try and pump out as much damage. It's a pretty good skill from Killer.
No RP.
No RP leveled up, and it doesn't even have any mana regardless. So, Cicada's going to shrug off all the damage with the Vanguard. This is not a kill they'll find, and at least they will keep Chosen One alive.
I mean, they keep him alive, but Arc Warden's still level 5 and change, and I mean, he might be forced just to go to this mid lane to be able to pick up anything that he can, get into that Tempest double, get into the Hand of Midas, but I mean, Killer, like we were saying, didn't level up the reverse polarity. He realizes that he's basically the only one having a good game right now, so he needs to be the one scaling and putting some pressure on these lanes just by shoving them out a little bit more quickly. Already going into the attributes.
Speaking of Killer, maybe with a... Yeah, does he... It's just being annoying, really. Is Cicada even going to be able to get the kill? Yes, double damage and helps out a lot. Chosen One's going to end up TPing, but he doesn't really have the greatest resources, honestly, for the Void Spirits. Now they're going to see both cores. What the hell is going on? Triple bounty? Yummy, yummy.
You know, we know this about these teams. At least they've taken both Wisdom runes, but runes aren't the highest priority for them. CSJ, you have to say, he's been the one playing the best so far this time around. Been involved in every single one of their kills, 5, 0, and 3, looking to take a giant ancient stack of his own making as well. And yeah, that Vanguard really coming into full effect for him. Of course, can always just look to scale into the Octarine core as well. So effective for the lane with those dives and be effective into the early stages of the mid game as well.
So let's go to see...
Killer's just going, I am the carry. That is the second point now into attributes. No RP. Right. He does not want to join these fights unless it's like a super deep engagement like they were doing previously. But on the plus side, still holding on to that Tempest double is the Arc Warden. Means that it's a death onto, well, you're dead too, Rubik. He's going to have that Midas usage with the Tempest double together. So there is some form of being able to catch up, sitting at, what, 3,200 or so at the moment. Should look to pick that one up pretty quickly.
We'll see if it's going to be fast enough, though. This is a very early net worth lead. Tower's gone down as well for the boys on Big Brain. So how can they really set up the map on limit? You've got a greedy offlaner. Killer's getting a lot of farm like we spoke about. But who have you got to make plays? Chosen One needs to catch up as well, considering how rough of a lane he had. I mean, I've been impressed with his rotations. He's got 2 kills, but still no Echo Saber for him. And you don't really have anyone to play with the Void Spirit. Rubik needs levels, Oracle needs levels. It might just be a farm fest, but does that even favor them? Because it feels like they're more than happy with farming. Then they're going to be able to come out in the next couple of minutes with an item advantage and completely break the map.
No, it doesn't favor them at all. I mean, this is the sort of thing where it was the question that I had around the Void Spirit, right? He has no one to play with in the early game, especially with the last pick of the Oracle. It was just to try and make this safe lane better, but clearly hasn't made that much of a difference. Still 4 deaths on the Oracle, 3 deaths on the Arc Warden for 0 kills. You know, a couple of assists here and there, but Buddha's Chosen One look to play with. He's just trying to rush into that Echo Saber to be able to try and make something happen. Maybe not aggressively, maybe it needs to be a counter initiation coming through. Like just him holding on to the TP, but they'll look to make that move before he even gets the Echo Saber delivered.
Nice hook. Beautiful angle from TZ, now CSJ. And all the boys are going to try and show up as well. There's TPs coming in. Killer will drop the RP. It's a decent chunk of damage, but no one dies in the end. And now they get a glimpse of CXK. So another +1 to add to the tally as this is... Well, this is not the Big Brain that we saw in Game 1 nor Game 2. Both those games, it was a limit actually with the early advantage, but this one is looking very different.
What the hell? Oh, that was... I was wondering how the Magnus blew the hell up, and it was all on the back of the techies. 2,800 damage. All 3 proximity mines ended up blowing up onto him, so just that 900 damage that does, plus a Boundless Strike, plus a Sticky Bomb off the top of everything else, can really make his life a whole lot more challenging.
A name we haven't said is Mr. God King, who... That's a good thing. If we're not saying God King's name and the boys are making all the space for him, he's 3rd in net worth. And I really wonder, like... Because again, we saw yesterday the Arc Warden be able to topple the Morphling, but I think if Morphling has a net worth lead, he's a carry that is actually on top of the enemies. You know, with a lot of gold, your Manta, Skadi can easily waveform inside the bubble. So with all the farm that God King has, I think this is going to be a very different Morphling versus Arc Warden matchup. So not only are you worried about everyone else now, but now you've got God King to fear too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason that you pick the Arc Warden against the Morphling is that you're able to get active a little bit earlier, but because of how horribly the laning stage has gone, it just means that that's not going to be happening. You know, you're going to have a Manta style at least to be able to react to any sort of Arc Warden movements, and I mean, he doesn't. He's got a Javelin coming out to him now with the Midas, but it's not enough. He needs that Maelstrom to be able to play around with if he's looking to dish out any consistent damage in these fights. But it really is going to be on the back of Chosen One. Honestly, I don't even know if it's on the back of Chosen One. It might just be like, do Big Brain feel like doing nothing? And if they do, then it's going to give limited opportunity. But if they just keep looking to play aggressively around this Octarine, CSJ nearly has the Boots of Travel now after that item to be able to consistently look to make plays, then, you know, that's going to be what really looks to seal it for them.
Yeah, they've learned though, Danog. Instantly, 14 minutes, both sides get their wisdom room. So
I'm so happy.
Well, we'll see how much that's going to be able to come into play though. Killer, what are they trying to do? They will tip in TZ to try and help set up.
Tipping everyone up here. Even the Batrider with the Boots of Travel, I'm anticipating, is going to join them. Windlace, Faded Brooch, plenty of movement speed for CSJ. Of course, that Boots of Travel as well, but I think they might have just overcommitted a little bit here, maybe wanting to take away the tier 1 to be able to invade into this ancient stack area. You know they've got the heroes to be able to yoink it away, and of course you want to take that away from the Magnus as well. I know that Killer's still had a pretty good game, all things considered. He'll be able to dodge this gank though. Looks like he will.
Yep, smoke pops. I don't think they got a glimpse of Die though. Passing by at night. Oh, but that is the prime target. Once again, trying to do their best to slow down the Arc Warden. And with the Wukong's layered down, it's going to be so difficult for Radiant to respond. With the False Promise, it'll only buy some time. As now with the Mag corner, he pulled back. Oh, the Arc brought back as well, and he's going to get nothing out of it. TP's in. Chosen One, he's committed all his ultimate charges as well. No Firefly for CSJ, so it does look like they'll actually get the Batrider killed too, but...
Your net worth is in the bin now. You are behind a techies in net worth on this Arc Warden. Yes, you've got the potential to scale, but I mean, not only does this ruin his net worth, as if he got the kill, maybe you could find a justification of saying, you know, it was worth it just to be able to take that big streak away from the Batrider, but it almost also opens up the opportunity to be losing some of your high ground. I know it's really early on, but, you know, Arc Warden dieback timer, it's long enough that without that magnetic field, which, by the way, doesn't even have a single point into it just yet, is not going to be able to protect that high ground from the eventual siege.
I am trying to concoct a game plan in my head.
An unstable concoction is that one.
It is, yes, it is indeed, because it's looking like a very unstable game, and I mean, any plan they form is low probability of it working out. I mean, what it in fact is, probably it's 26%. I think it's a bit high, but potentially favors Arc Warden. We'll see. We'll see what we have in store for us. And a Magnus too. So yeah, you know, Killer's farming, even though he's really trying to force the issue with TPing in. And honestly, I'm quite surprised with Chosen One's farm as well. Well, speaking of these two down bottom, CSJ, RP's going to be able to connect, and
that was so close to missing, dude.
Very, very close. But, I mean, that's huge. I'm really enjoying seeing the Void Spirit play around the Magnus, so he's have constantly this empower, even though he's 3-0-2, involved out of 5 out of the 6 kills, but really it's the last hits. That's a big thing for the Void. He's 3rd in last hits, so they're doing a great job, even though it's 8,000 gold behind. At least these two in particular are keeping up in farm.
Yeah, I mean, Chosen One has been pretty decent in all 3 games. You know, obviously game 2 is a little bit of a different story, but we do see, like you were mentioning,
who's in trouble? Sakata popping the Wukongs a little bit more defensively. Now with the rest of the team starting to show up.
I was actually going to bring up Sakata. I mean, we were talking about the dominance of that laning stage. Top lane.
Rain Paws might be in some trouble. Nice stolen Boundless helps get some separation, but CSJ is still on the hunt. They're going to glimpse him in. Flame break back, probably not even going to need the lasso. As CSJ can now use it onto someone else, but once again with the combos there, off to the outskirts, so Cicada locks him into place, and it's not going to work out a second time. This time, the dive from Big Brain will be catastrophic, and now Cicada, he's going to be able to clean up and find the team wipe in the end. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does indeed.
I love the ping over the left-hand side saying, you know what, just check the wisdom root. we got to make sure if it's there or not. It's not, finally, this time around, but God King happy enough just to take a nice little ancient camp as well. Looking to take away some of that safe farm they've been looking to play with up until this point. And yeah, that is a agonizingly long death timer coming through as well for the Arc Warden, continuing to fall behind. I mean, do you think it's ever going to get to the stage where even Clockwork overtakes him? Possibly.
No, I don't think so. But
okay. Clockwork hater, I see.
Okay. I just never said that. I just think you're going up against Double Minus. Come on, I feel like this is logical thought process. I know you're an illogical person though, so sometimes you have difficulty, but it's okay.
Sometimes you just gotta have faith, you know?
Blind faith, is that good though?
Colorblind faith is good.
Colorblind faith.
Look at the scribbles on the map that say, play in this area, play with me, my name is Bat Rider, I've nearly got my my Blink Dagger available, and I'm still looking to take away a lot of this farm that, you know, the pesky Magnus, the pesky Void Spirit are playing with. Speaking of, it's a good usage there out of the hook shot to be able to potentially survive a bit longer, but not going to be enough.
Gonna bring every person though, just in case
Cicada.
another fight breaks out. So yes, Cicada, Diffusal. With the,
but that is now
Harpoon.
Manta on Chosen One to be able to play around with. So it's a lot of damage starting to come through from him as well. Going to be able to dodge out, at least, it depends how on point he is, right? If he can look to dodge out the Adaptive Strike, the Boundless, the Flame Break, there's some potential for them to be able to make a couple of turnaround kills happen. But the damage is starting to come through for Limit here. Looking to hang next to the Magnus again, saying, you know what, it's been a little while since I got the Empower. How about, you look to hook me up with a little something, something. There we go.
Oh, the smoke though. Big Brain, they'd like a more valuable kill than CXK. Looks like they're going to show everyone for this, however, so... What's the call now afterwards? Just straight into the triangle, try and take away some of the farm. Meanwhile, God King bottom is forcing out some reaction. CSJ is already here as well. Quick use of the boots to travel to be able to connect to the Morphling. So not only do they get one support, they're going to find a second along with the T2 tower once the glyph expires.
Yeah, I think that's a much more worthwhile use of their time. Like you were saying before, the Rubik, not necessarily worth that full-on gank, but if you can get the Oracle as well into a tower, again, reduces the space that this Void Spirit and Mag and even the Arc Warden are potentially looking to use to farm. That means the Chosen One and Killer need to be playing up towards the top-hand side instead. So, you know, they are still picking up their farm, but it's not really being spread all that evenly across the board. You know, maybe if Arc Warden's able to get up into that Manta style, he's going to feel happier if he can have his level 15 as well, just for a little bit of that extra damage output coming through from the Flux or the Magnetic Field talent. Both fairly equal, I would say. But to me, this game is just really on the Void Spirit. You know, if he can get into that Skadi, it's a lot of additional damage. It's great against the Morphling and the Bat Rider.
Yeah, you are right. They're picking up their farm, but you got to say it's a concern that the net worth is still growing, though, for Dire. It's not like this game is slowing down. You get towers. You're going to get Roshan now as well. So, are we expecting this to be the high ground ages as well?
Depends who the pickoff is, you know. Going up against a Magnus, if he's the one that gets picked off, yeah, at the very least, you want to get a buyback out of him so that you're opening up an extra win condition. But, yeah, that's the sort of situation where you might be able to come back into this game, right? Off the back of a skewer back into the base. Poor Oracle just walks into a bunch of proximity mines that was set up, as well as the blast off.
CSJ's got the blink. He does, but Bill's going to be out of danger, so they're still hunting, but the rest of the team a little bit too slow. Importantly, all the lanes are in a very good position now for Big Brain, so what's the core going to be? I mean, I guess Arc Warden with the Tempest double is able to shove out bot. Mid's, it's an okay spot as well, but should be tier 2 bot, sorry, tier 2 top, potentially into tier 2 middle. The God King's posturing like he might even think about going high ground, even have a Tormentor if they want to take it.
Possibly. Seems like they're not in complete agreement about it. They're going to look to avoid the Tormentor and just look to try and get that initiation from the sidelines. Carter doing his best tree cosplay right now on the left, just to try and catch people out. Pretty ideal target to be able to give this this Aghanim shard through to. Reactive Taser. One would assume you're either going to use that onto the Clockwork or the Batrider, just for that additional movement speed, as well as some of the defensive tools available to you. CSJ just looking to try and, once again, interrupt the Arc Warden farm. It's about bleeding the map dry right now. You know, when we were talking about the potential for Limit to come back, it was a 12k net worth lead. It's already ballooned out to 17 ever since that. See if CSJ gets caught here.
Nice blink. Still the telekinesis is going to be there. Is he taking enough for the reinforcements to show up? But the Wukongs can get laid down, and guess who's inside the middle? At least the False Promise comes out, which protects the Arc Warden momentarily, but God King is going to be still chasing him down. TZ with a beautiful long-range hook shot as well. And now they're just looking to try and swarm over some of the remaining members as Killer tried to escape out to the left, but he was not going to be able to TP out. Stop short. And it'll be a slow and painful death for the Magnus, who's really been a bright spot for them, not only this game, but the series. And with that death, what do you know, Techies actually even leapfrogs him in net worth as well.
How's the Clockwork looking? He's falling a little bit behind. It was a bit of an odd choice as well for the Arc Warden just to run right, you know? Like, the Magnus was retreating over the left-hand side. You still hadn't used your RP at the end of everything, and he basically just walked away from any sorts of reinforcement that he might have gotten and into the unknown, where Big Brain, they had the numbers. So again, no Magnus means no way to be able to protect this high ground. All 4 of the magnetic field up at this point, so, you know, again, he could just look to move inside of this magnetic field and not really be too concerned about it, and they even get a lasso.
Oh, that's a lot of damage on CSJ. Diving deep into the T4 Tower, Parvis, not enough to keep him alive. Overzealous and Techies too. So, a little bit cocky there. You don't get the barracks. So, how long you got left on the edges? Minute 40, I suppose. They can look to do it again.
Yeah, the pipe just came out a little bit too late as well. It ended up being the astral step that ended up killing him. Delayed damage, obviously not going to be reduced by the pipe. So I think they had Guardian Greaves coming up in a couple of seconds, but a couple of seconds too late. Even TZ's looking to, you know, try and get it on the fun. Going into the Aghanim Scepter, again, just a great tool at being able to scout out anyone farming anywhere. Monkey King, of course, went for the extra tree dance cast range. They really have just so many tools to be able to get across the map at this point. Playing with a Batrider with the Boots of Travel, Monkey King with that movement speed, even the Morphling, right? Waveform just enabling him to get anywhere that he wants at any stage of the game. Top lane kind of pushed, but got to be careful.
Morph is hunting. Blink Orchid, level 20, ready to go. But they're going to try and play together, making sure no one gets picked off, and they were very close for TZ being able to catch them, but a sweep across the map doesn't work out. Importantly, though, they will be able to address the lanes now. Once again, we're going to be looking at the Tempest double to try and find some avenue to them for farming, but farming as 5 is, you mean this net worth is still going to take quite a hit.
I like the Big Brain Observer wards, right? You know, they've layered them down very aggressively to be able to find people out. It's such a hard decision to be like, can you even go into a gem now? It looks like Oracle's got it queued up, but still obviously not a ton of net worth to be able to play around with. But that's the real difference maker, right? Knowing that you have space to be able to farm. And right now they just don't have that information. The map is basically fairly dark for them. They're walking underneath an observer ward now. But the fact that they've still got some on the other side of the map is a big plus for them. TZ, nice use of the gem there to be able to remove any bit of information that Limit had over for the dire side of the map. Wisdom Rune is up, but, you know, it's only been up for 30 seconds.
Radiant are scanning.
Gotta be careful here on the Void Spirit. He's close to being able to pick up that full Skadi. And we mentioned how effective that's going to be against this Morphling. Even with the Satanic, no Aegis, you might be able to just quickly pop him with all the damage maxed out in power.
Are fortified.
Of course, kill it. He needs the BKB for himself. So they're approaching some big timings. The net worth really hasn't grown in the past, what, 4 or so minutes? Still sitting at 17k.
And importantly, they don't lose many objectives off that Aegis as well. Do you see how difficult it is to be able to siege into the Arc Warden and this potential, the mag, to skew you further in the base? It's going to get even scarier with the BKB, so I'll continue to play this one a little bit safe, but like you said, with all the wards placed from Dire, it just makes it so difficult for Radiant to get out of that. Not only that, but you've got Flare to scout, you've got Mines to scout, Monkey. There's just so many ways for Dire to get that vital information, but hopefully now with the gem on Oracle, it can make it a bit easier.
They've already cleared one. They get the second, just as it's about to expire, so nice timing there. Some free gold given over to him. I mean, if he's able to get into a blink, a blink dagger for himself, he could just play super far on the back lines, never be the one caught by the lasso, and always have that response to whoever gets targeted to be able to begin a lot of these engagements. So, you know, map opening up a little bit for them with those 2 observer wards removed. It gives them the freedom to know that they can probably come up towards this top side of the map. Again, no Aegis that they're playing around with. You are very close to the BKB and the level 18 on the Magnus. You've got the Skadi on the Void Spirit. So, again, these timings, they're starting to come through. You know, if you're going into a Heart next on the Void Spirit, wasn't really expecting that.
I personally hope he goes Daedalus. I feel like they might be lacking damage.
Yep.
But I guess the Heart is just like, your Rubik Oracle on frontliners, and my Mag really isn't either. Like, he's an initiator, plays very far in the back line, so I can definitely see the reasoning for the Heart.
Dire are scanning.
I wouldn't hate, like, an Octarine instead, you know? It doesn't give you the most in the form of stats, and maybe that's just the reason why. It just gives pure health and mana, but, you know, just to be able to, again, sit on the front lines, be a little bit more disruptive, play around your Astral Step a little bit more, considering you are really starting to ramp up in the damage now.
Is under attack.
Look at this.
Need a reapplication of the Empower, though. Full on wraparound. Love to catch out God King here.
Is under attack.
They might know, actually, that Rocket Flare passed over.
I see
There's
him.
a sentry on top of the rift. God King's going to run straight to them. Oh, I thought they're still going to try and potentially take the fight 4-on-5. Rest of the team starting to group up. I think that's Cicada. Want to play around the cliff potentially, see if they go a bit too far. They saw that ward place, which wasn't there prior. With the sentry and the rocket flare that passed over, they were pinging this high ground. Bit of a overstep, unfortunately, for God King. Could mean this Roche goes the way of Raiden. This is that first step.
Don't know what Killer
very
is
swift
doing
from the team, though. Lasso to the follow-up button. That's plenty of control to allow Cicada to go to work. And now the rest of the team, you just see instantly, no hesitation, Cicada gonna pounce on forward. He's still in a bit of an awkward position on the high ground, has to run all the way around. The Wukong so still gives him firm control of the area, but importantly, the Rubik has made enough space for Chosen One, along with Brain Pause to retreat, but Cicada can easily close the distance, and now they've caught up to the Arc Warden as well. Teleport's going to be there in a couple of seconds, but how can you even escape? The lasso still at the ready, and Ultra Force Cicada, as the Monkey King is still flawless this game.
I don't know what that was all about, man. Like, he just went into the middle of a creep wave. Like, sure, he felt like they had the advantage because they had the vision in the area, and it's actually what TZ is going to be scouting out now and removing, but that was just a crazy play to be able to be that far away from the rest of your team who are taking Roche in a pretty good spot. He needs to be the counter initiator, or at least the one to initiate, but just putting yourself out there vulnerable in the middle of a lane is suicide. Oh,
And
Scythe of Ice.
Void Spirit now. Skewer back, any extra control. Cicada finds an opportunity to play around with the
Harpy in
Boundless
five.
Strike. Can he get the Jingu stacks? That's the big thing to some. Will prevent it. Killer's going to hope he can stay alive long enough for the RP. It's a
big
pretty
RP.
good one at that.
No
but
damage.
it doesn't seem like he's going to have the damage without the Arc Warden nor the Void Spirit. They'll stand strong. Turn towards the Oracle as well. Buybacks is starting to rein in. Maybe the numbers advantage could prove to be enough. But it's only the Clockwork that gets caught up inside the base. Chosen One will still get the double kill. Maybe they can walk it down for Roche because that's still yet to be claimed.
They can see a DD mid as well. Need to pick it up in the next 5 or so seconds or it's just going to disappear, but almost have to imagine that it needs to be their play, just going straight into the Roche pit after this. So many buybacks being used, and I mean, they were coming back into this game. I thought they've maneuvered their way fairly well, but 3 buybacks for the use of 2 supports? Certainly not the case.
Still feels strong. It's 3 cores on Dire. No Joker cores as well. They could definitely take the fight without killing. Look at the vision monkeys providing. And it didn't cancel the TP. Oh, instantly jumping on top. No hesitation from CSJ. Whenever they get a glimpse of the Arc Warden, Rain Paws will instantly be brought down. And now they even want to try and catch up to Chosen One. Both stuns are kind of overlapped a little bit. So Chosen One should be able to escape. Hunting though, if they don't get him.
Yeah. The creep wave still not able to stop that backdoor protection from kicking in too quickly. Cicada just putting himself onto the front lines, and I mean, they've already got the lasso up and available again. Once again, you don't want to be using the buyback on the Arc Warden, but I need to be forced to. If he doesn't do it, this is probably going to be 2 lanes, no glyph remaining either. And they do snag the gem, which was still just sitting inside the base. 2 lanes to be up ahead for Big Brain to potentially get their first series win of the tour. Potentially. At least you're going to have the Arc Warden back. TP's up on both Chosen and Killer. Gotta get back. Nope, Megas. Alright. Didn't get back fast enough. No real point in coming back if it's a little bit too late.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, Empower's good, right?
Sure. It's even better if you're 17k behind instead of 32. And Megas constantly pushing at you. And don't give up a free-ish Aegis. Speaking of, it's exactly what Big Brain are moving towards, really respecting their namesake, doing the smart thing. Don't push into a high ground, don't push into a tier 4 tower against a Magnus and a Rubik that has the potential to steal a lasso, for example. Just do the safe option. Take Roshan, get the cheese, get that secondary life. Might even afford to wait for the Morphling, why not, right? Get him his level 25, get him into that Swift Blink.
See if that's the call or not. We've got a pretty good ward near the Tormentor that will scout out Killer on the retreat. There's an Octarine now completed. You are just praying that Killer can somehow find an angle for not only 1 harpoon skewer back, but you're going to have to rinse repeat that a couple of times now with this potential final push.
Do that though. At least he's level 20, a little bit of extra skewer range, but as long as they're not like, no one can go forward and get picked off. Like, that is problem number 1. And as long as you're not grouping up, you're not going to get like multi-person RP'd. A little bit careful here on the techies with how close he's going.
Dude, look at Cicada. Look at Cicada. The position for the Monkey King is ever so perfect. And now with the Wukongs, it's in front of their fountain. Killer's going to try and get it off, but the instant bash will stop the RP short. Now it's time to celebrate. Why not Fountain Dive? Add some kills to the tally. Nothing they've got to be concerned about. RP will still come through, but God King, he's working with the Aegis. They'll kill him the once, but good luck killing him a second time. Remnant's still going to be there, I suppose. Ooh, it's going to be able to get it off. Beautifully done. Quick on the fingers. God King, he'll be okay. Skewers up in a couple of seconds. You're like, what? Did he fight 3 or 2? Regardless, it's enough. They lose the bat. What's going on, dude? Are you serious? Oh, no way. Killer got another. I mean, that's what they needed. Maybe it helps a little bit when the team's diving the fountain, but...
I mean, they basically just did everything that we said that they can't be doing. Going near this fountain, clumping up for an RP, and, you know, they've still got mega creeps. They've still got I was about to say 30k plus net worth lead, but, I mean, you give some juicy kill streaks over. Granted, one of them is onto 6k. Not sure if he's going to be able to do the most with it, but, I mean, did he have a stolen lasso? Is that the situation? It kind of felt like a lasso at the same time as a skewer happened.
It doesn't look like it in the fire recap.
Yeah, no, the Bat Rider used the lasso, and then he got skewered while he was lassoing someone else.
Oh, okay. Well, do that 3 more times, and...
Hopefully, well, the tier 4 towers are dying.
They are dying very fast as well. So it's, what, it was 0% before that dive. Now it is 1%.
Ooh.
So do that again. Maybe it goes up to 3. Do it a second time.
Let's not get crazy.
What, 3%'s too crazy?
Yeah, 2% maybe. Low fat milk.
It's just not funny this time.
No,
the first time it was actually, you know, I had a bit of a chuckle.
I'll say it again, and I'll do it. You watch me.
Maybe some other people laughed at it. Some people with horrible humor. Sorry, don't hate me for that.
I don't know what you're on about.
some cringe dad joke type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Peak.
I don't know if that's peak humor. I feel like... Is dark humor peak? Again, that's very subjective, I suppose. So... I was gonna ask for your best
No.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the place.
Alright, what are we getting here? Tier 4 neutral items coming through. I mean, if Void Spirit's able to get his level 25 and can get the Daedalus, he can rip through people. It's just a matter of, like, finding the right ones. I mean, Morphling... I guess with the Bloodthorn as well, he's got that extra magic resistance, which is going to provide him a ton of safety. He's level 25 himself. He's even just gone into the 35 strength. He just wants to not be killable. He was up to 51 fountain stack charges, and that's kind of deep, my guy.
It's his J. Might go down to start the fight, but importantly, kill it. I mean, that's the main person. That is all their comeback potential. RP's there, but unfortunately, they just skewer some illusions. And now with them deep inside the base, what's the play going to be? I don't believe the refresher is up on Killer. No, it's not. I mean, so he can still get that Harpoon skewer. I'd still do use a little bit. I mean, Wukongs, I think some BKBs as well.
Fake back, though. Just double gone. Void Spirit, not gone, but he gets caught by the Scythe of Vice.
And now they've got the lasso to potentially follow up as well. They're going to target other members. Killer once again, but Sakata, he's okay. Is that really the person you want to be skewering deep inside the base? Because simultaneously, the supports, they're getting gone on as well. Meanwhile, Arc Warden just evaporates once God King's able to get on top of him. And with that, this one gets prolonged, I'm sure a little bit longer than what Big Brain were hoping for. But in the end, they will be very happy with their first series.